Welcome to Motorbike Explorer. A week after visiting the Statue of Liberty, my new jacket finally arrived. It is now time to leave New Jersey and head for warmer weather, which is good because up here in the Northeast, it's about to get even colder. Managing the bike at slow speeds is a burden, but it's something I will have to get used to quickly. And off we go. The second stop on the UNESCO World Heritage Tour will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to visit Independence Hall. Just after leaving the shop in New Jersey, the snow started to fall heavily. Within a half hour or so, there was a half-inch of wet snow on the ground. My camera wasn't in its waterproof case, so in the tank bag it went. A stop for a hearty, warm breakfast was in order. Not long after leaving New Jersey, I found myself right in the heart of Philadelphia. There's no room for on-street parking, so round and round I went looking for a garage. Getting out of my riding gear and securing the bike is an activity all on its own, something I will need more practice at. Same-day tickets for Independence Hall are free, and access into the building are by tour guide only. Standing next to the site of the President's House is the Liberty Bell Center. There are many forms of symbols that hold deep meaning to us. The Liberty Bell is a well-known symbol of American independence. Historians believe this particular bell was among the bells that rang on July 8th to mark the public announcement of the Declaration of Independence. The 2,000-pound bell received its crack sometime in the early 19th century. It was possibly damaged during transit or broken by an inexperienced bell ringer. The Pennsylvania State House, known today as Independence Hall, was the meeting place of the Second Continental Congress, which was a group of representatives from each of the 13 British North American colonies. These 13 original colonies banded together to seek their independence from the Kingdom of Great Britain. It is this building where the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution were debated and adopted. The delegates of the Continental Congress nominated George Washington as Commander-in-Chief in the Assembly Room of Independence Hall. John Adams took the lead in the push for gaining independence from Great Britain. Thomas Jefferson produced the original draft of the document, which Congress edited to establish the final version. Within these walls, a year after the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War, Congress voted unanimously on the Declaration, forming a new nation, the United States of America. The building was completed in 1753 and features two main rooms on the ground floor, an assembly room and a Supreme Court room. Two smaller buildings connect the wings of Independence Hall to the east and west. One building served as Old City Hall and the other Congress Hall. Freedom and democracy had such a profound impact in politics around the world and is considered to have uprooted a modern era of government. Next stop is Charlottesville, Virginia, to see the home of Thomas Jefferson. After spending a lovely night on a warm bed in Maryland, it was time to get back on the road and continue south to Virginia. It's very cold to be riding in the Northeast in early February, but the beautiful scenery that surrounds me keeps my mind off of my shivering body. Tickets are purchased at the Monticello Visitor Center, which is located at the base of the mountain. A short bus ride brings you to the summit, where the home is located. Monticello translates to Little Mountain in Italian. Thomas Jefferson began designing and building the home at the age of 26, after inheriting the 5,000 acres of land from his father. It was served primarily as a plantation, where tobacco and other mixed crops were grown and sold in markets. The home sits atop an 850-foot high mountain peak with amazing panoramic views of the landscape. Just south of the main house is Mulberry Row, a 1,000-foot road of slave cabins, service and industrial structures, and an extensive vegetable garden used to feed the tenants of Monticello. Many generations of slave families lived and died on the plantation. One of the household slaves, Sally Hemings, was supposedly in a 38-year relationship with the widower Jefferson. She had fathered 6 of his children, 4 of whom survived to adulthood. Thomas Jefferson was most noted for authoring the Declaration of Independence and becoming the 3rd President of the United States. Cameras are not allowed in the home, so you'll have to use your imagination to visualize the many original and replica furnishings that decorated all of the rooms. Ambitious renovations have been and are being made to restore the home to how it looked when it was occupied by Jefferson and his family. Thomas Jefferson was a very educated, well-traveled man of science, and he liked to greet his visitors to the home with a room full of paintings, maps, fossils, and Native American artifacts. He had an enormous collection of books from his travels that he valued very much. Jefferson founded and contributed heavily to the design of the University of Virginia, just 5 miles from Monticello, and it was his ideal quote-unquote academical village. He was very much interested in European design and architecture, and spent a significant amount of attention to the layout of rooms, its planned uses, engineering elements, and aesthetics, contributing greatly to the neoclassical form of the 18th century. Jefferson was constantly working on the home until his death in 1826. He was then laid to rest not far from the main house in a plot of land now designated as the Monticello Cemetery. Back on the road again, I'm headed to the Thomas Jefferson National Forest to find a camping spot for the night. Reflecting back on my visit to Independence Hall in Monticello, I can really understand the drastic change the country was going through at the time. Facing constant hardships, I believe the people of the 13 original colonies were struggling to form their own identity, and I think they finally found it. The United States of America was a nation that recreated itself using agreed-upon beliefs and morals, and a place I'm happy to call home. Camping high up in the Appalachian Mountains was a very cold experience. The nighttime temperatures fell to around 25 degrees Fahrenheit, which was just outside the lower limit of my sleeping bag and blanket. After waking up, the fire did a great job of warming me and my boots up before I got back on the saddle. If you ever find yourself in eastern United States, take time to visit the Appalachian Mountain Range. The scenery is truly breathtaking. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the northeastern roads and landscapes, as well as the visits to Independence Hall and Monticello. I'm still waiting for the warm weather of the south, but just haven't found it yet. I will in the next episode as I approach Louisiana to visit Poverty Point and the famous earthworks site. And maybe a stop over to New Orleans to try some delicious gumbo.